ayé mú. Gbà wá tilẹ̀ toko lọ́wọ́ ogun abẹ́lé yìí. Ogun má jà wá.
ká jùmọ̀ ká gbé e lárugẹ àrà ò gbọ́dọ̀ kú sí wa nínú ògo ilẹ̀ yìí ò gbọ́dọ̀ bàjẹ́ àjogúnbá wa o.
Of course, when you hear that centone, you know it's another opportunity for us to be on the program on point. My name is Awoshimusi Akinyemi Felix. I want to welcome you on board the program this morning. Let me quickly say this before we dive into the program proper. I've always told you, by the time we started this program, I said this program is an agenda-setting program. It's not just one of the kind of run-of-the-mill kind of program that we just do programs just because we want to do programs. Not at all. We do programs because we feel that automatic with his words, but it wasn't. He spoke the truth to the government, and that endeared him, to me. Just there and then, it was like he struck a chord. And I felt, no, this man has something to offer Nigerians and have something to offer the people. That we shouldn't just leave him to just say those things without necessarily bringing him, at least to be able to, as it were, do more of a bit of exposition on some of the things which, of course, he said that day. And that's why I have him with me in the studios this morning. Doctor, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's a pleasure that we called you, and then you, of course, give us your words that you will come at NMA between 2008 and 2010. He was a member, National Executive Council of the same association between 2010 to 2012. He was the chairman of the association committee on sick doctors between 2010 to 2012. He was a Southwest coordinator, Continuing Medical Education Committee 2014 to 2016. He was the General Secretary, Medical and Dental Consultant Association of Nigeria, University College Hospital Branch 2020 to 20.
Our country is about the best place to, showcase that. And fine, the money is good, and of course it gets you the very many good things of life, but when it comes to fulfillment, many of our colleagues, doctors, will definitely, the average doctor will definitely want to go and apply his trade, where that trade will be, where his service is appreciated, which is not so in our client. And but we still have to make the best use of the situation. We still have to stay within the system. I tell some of our junior colleagues, when they tell me they are relocating, I tell them, are you led? Because that's very, very important. I have classmates, I have colleagues abroad that are doing very fine. And of course I have those that definitely are regretting. the aspect of confidentiality is also very, very key.
I said I'm going somewhere.
Yes.
You just go ahead.
Yeah, the aspect of confidentiality, because even after the patient has died, the whole tells you whatever happens to that patient must still, be kept away from the general public. So that's another thing that the oath actually, confers on the practitioner. Again, respect for the society, for the people in authority, for teachers, medical teachers. We see ourselves as apprentices in quotes.
In quote, yeah.
Yes, because medical practice is actually more of an.
And what steps have been taken in that direction?
The truth, in fact, it's very obvious that when it comes to remuneration, the average doctor is underpriced. The average doctor is underpaid. We get to see what our colleagues outside the country, in other countries, especially the developed world, when we rate ourselves, we weigh, though the Bible says those that compare themselves with themselves. Very difficult for you to tell them to stay. Okay. And it grieves my heart, because those people should be the future of this nation. We are not going to be around forever. That's correct. And some people must, we have to. Some people must take over. The same way we took over from
some other people.
Our predecessors. Yeah. But at the level Nigeria is going now, the shit is going to reach the fans very soon. Yes.
Now that happens to be one of the ministries that you don't just bring anybody in there. And so if you're seeing this, and most of these medical doctors that we're talking about ought to be or should be members of NMA.
Yes.
Either at one point in time or the other they had been. And so if that's the case, so why is it always, we coming back to these same issues that we are not carried along and all that? This is supposed to be these people are supposed to be your colleagues. So why are they not consulting with you before the formulation of these policies?
Well, you see, you will agree with me that the appointments of commissioners and ministers, they are political appointments.
Very well.
And whoever pays the piper dictates the tune. Now, when you are appointed based on maybe word of recommendation from a politician, you want to pander to the whims and caprices of that politician. Yeah. And that is the problem. Because, of course, we are in a society where people push, and there is little they can do at that point. And that is why one of the reasons why a program of this nature is very, very important. Yeah. So that whatever it is that the political office holder is finding it very difficult to tell the principal, the principal can get to hear. Yes, from this standpoint. Yeah. Yes, and we've been trying to carry our political office holders along. But another challenge when it comes to why our members in politics are have not really been able to help the profession is that some of them are not well grounded in the problems of the society. For somebody that trained in Harvard, somebody that lived his entire life overseas, in the United States of America. So how do you expect that person, and then the president calls that person to come and hold the health portfolio here? It doesn't know the challenges of the health sector in Nigeria requires homegrown solutions. It's not something that you import from abroad. If your mindset is tapered or tailored towards what obtains in the UK, for example, the National Health Services, you don't bring that to our National Health Insurance here.
That's right.
Because over there, insurance and unfortunately the system is in such a state that until you agitate, until you fight for what belongs to you, you won't get it. It's not even necessarily about the president, it's not necessarily about the governor. The bureaucratic bottlenecks. some of these things, somebody is expecting you to, grease the palm in one office. Somebody is expecting you to, tick them before they can move. So many things. That's why I said it's interwoven. It's not really something. It's not about one individual. It's not about one person. It's about just the rot in the system. It's about the corruption. Yes. Well, so now doctors are now forced.
Yeah.
And that is why I mentioned earlier, I stated a touch on, the Hippocratic Oath, now saying that, look, what...
Yeah, I live in Ibadan. So, and I know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
So, what should be done about this? Because, and this is the best place where people can easily access medical attention. And when you have that kind of a thing happening, then what do we do?
It's unfortunate we, as a country and as a state, we found ourselves where we are. The state of the health sector, let's be sincere with ourselves, is really, really disappointing. I have to say this. And like you rightly stated, the primary health care centers ideally should be the go-to places where people that you don't necessarily need to take, that will have been taken care of. And when I was in primary school, we have dispensaries in our schools, government schools. I'm not even talking about private schools now. I don't think those exist anymore. And that is why somebody will now have to pull his or her child out of school because I'm bring to UCH, and then you tend to wonder,
that what's happening?
What are those? Because I grew up, when you bruise your leg playing football or you fall ill, and then all you have to do is just take you to the sick bay in this school. But and I attended the government school. It's not as if I. Where we place it before him and let him see what is really happening. Somewhere. So all these primary care centers, in fact, a senior member of the society, somebody in the top echelon of the Yoruba Council of Elders, your Council of Elders, actually, when we met with him, because we've been reaching out, he said from experience, from his own personal experience, it's as if government don't want to invest in you get to some wards and then as a patient you probably even get depressed. Your condition will become worse. And those are the things that we feel government should be aware of. It's not just about replacing those that have left. The Jackpot syndrome has actually depleted. Tremendously, seriously. But government should be seen as also instituting infrastructure, because there are some things that, for example, the senior nurse that you touched on about getting overwhelmed. If you digitalize some of these services, some bodies will definitely be taken off such individual. And that is why we believe government should come in at this. The health can generate money. Health can be a money spinning machine.
How and what you paint your house says a lot about your taste and building outlook. That is why you need to go for Glitz Paint for a beautiful house finishing, produced in different colors, textures, patterns, and sizes. Glitz Paint is available in satin, gloss, emulsion, weather shield, and lots more. Builders and people who know their runners do not joke with Glitz Paint. All and sundry are therefore invited to one in-town trade fair to view the wonders of Glitz Paint, holding at Jogo Center, Liberty Road, Ibadan, on Saturday 19th and Sunday 20th October 2024 at 8 a.m. prompt. You can start placing your orders now as you stand to enjoy unbeatable discounts on all products purchased during the trade fair. For inquiries, please call 0704
9
sí mẹ́wàá àṣálẹ́ ní ìkànnì vintage 93.7 FM àkójá òfin àmúyẹ àyànmọ́ ìfẹ́ èmi ni tiẹ̀ ní tòótọ́ àwọn abala tó kún fọ́fọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ ìwúni lórí tí múlùlùfẹ́ méjì fàmọ́ra wọn pẹ́pẹ́pẹ́ àkójá òfin ẹ má mí sí ẹ̀.
Sọmọrí àdúgbò yìí.
Everything now is based on
women.
Gender
Yes,
basis.
yes, because we have athlete, but it's just unfortunate that we don't have. I would rather let me on the light time say we don't have an athlete for men, male doctors. And so for Lautech Ogbomoso, they also have an athlete there. So being a part of NME, we've actually been. I don't think there is hardly a day since I attained office in August that I don't get one negative report from our members in Lautech.
Wow.
As we speak, Oyo State government actually released an advert. Only one doctor applied in Lautech. Only one.
Only one doctor.
In fact, the number of resident doctors in Lautech, because you see, a teaching hospital, because I went down the archives and I realized that over the years in Oyo State, government has been, previous government were allocating maybe 5%, 6% of the budget or budget allocation. You know, WHO charter says that for every government, 15% of the budget must go to health.
Okay.
But over the years, it was hovering around 5%, 6%. But give it to this governor, he raised it to 9%. At least for 2024, I'm aware of that. But we have not seen the impact of the increment. We have not seen because that's a lot of money.
Is it as a result of, would you say it's as a result of the economic meltdown or something?
No, not quite. Even before the meltdown in the last 1 year, I can say that maybe the money released or rather budgeted has not been judiciously put into use.
By who now?
By the technocrats in government. By the because at every point when they do letters to the government, they copy NMA. Yeah. So we have been abreast of some of these things, and that is why we believe that it's a collaborative effort now that can actually pull that institution out of the wood, because the institution is down. That is the truth of the matter.
It's down.
Yes, I told you. I mean, doctors left, government advertised, people did not come forward.
Wow.
And now that center, I mean, apart from even training, that's it. I mean, doctor training. It's a training center. You know, research center. Of course, service delivery is there. Yeah. But I mean, you cannot do all. To get to the hospital. So how do you? I mean, the cost of all those shortcomings. How do you quantify it? So the truth of the matter is that a poorly remunerated doctor will not even be committed to that job.
If he has,
and that is why they will be cutting corners. For those that have decided not to leave, that's why they will pay more attention to maybe working
private practices, yes, and all that.
Because they tell you that what are you
at
doing
the expense of the job.
The job. So those are the things that we really need to tease out and find a way around them. We need to find ways around these things. Doctors should be well remunerated.
What are you saying that the government should do at this moment to forestall that 15 days ultimatum? I think the 15 days ultimatum was issued, I think, about 3 or 4 days ago. And if you're counting, we're counting down now. That's about 11 days to go. So what could be done to step this in the tide?
You see, one of the shortcomings of government is we will see nothing will happen. Ideally, by now, government should be meeting. There should be dialogue. There should be negotiation. there should be horse trading if possible.
Yes.
Okay, based on the state of the purse, this is what we can afford. But government will not do anything until it's too late. And when it is when the strike, when these workers embark on this strike, then people will die.
Yeah.
And then how do you quantify the cost of life?
That's
I mean,
life.
those are the issues that government so over the years,
That government
because
has not been
for
taking,
people to give ultimatum of 15 days, they must have expected a period where
window,
something step will be
period.
taken,
Yeah,
step will be
steps should be
taken
taken, at
to
least,
actually maybe
to
forestall,
mitigate.
to mitigate or prevent such events. But government will just pretend as if all is well. Then when actually,
you don't even have words for it. That's why you're.
No, it amuses me.
Yeah.
Because most of those countries our people run to in droves are manned by even Nigerian
medical. That's exactly what I'm saying.
And now maybe if we talk about maybe India and China, is it Saudi Arabia, is it the UK, is it the US, are we talking about Canada, Australia? Nigerians are everywhere. Medical practitioners, plan is applicable. I get what will make me fine. And again, the private sectors now, because I must not fail to talk about their own plight. The electricity condition, the cost of production, the cost of running private practice is very, very humongous. Yes, ginormous. And most of them are just trying to, and that is why when people assess private healthcare, they tell you it's very expensive. You can't blame the private practitioner. He has to stay afloat. He's in the business too. And though we said that healthcare is service to humanity, but at the same time, if you are unable to sustain that service to humanity, then there's a problem.
There's a problem.
Yeah, there's a problem. So there are so many things that the government will need to do. Because it's not just sitting in the offices and pretending that all is well. And no, government really needs to come out. I said it earlier that the government has allocated so much fund to health sector, but we are not seeing the impact.
Okay.
We are not seeing the impact.
Well, I want to bring you.
Gets healthcare, and that's why they are paying service to what ideally should obtain here. And we had some. It's just that we don't even learn from history. We don't learn from what probably had happened in the past. During the corona pandemic, we know people that had the means, but at the point they could not even leave the country. And now they now have to be assessing, very expensive healthcare facilities in Lagos. At the end of the day, we still know what happened eventually at the end of the day. Yes, because we shouldn't even wait. Decimated, the facilities are grossly lacking. But out of ingenuity of the teachers, out of ingenuity of the administrators, we are still trying to keep the system afloat. If not, the institution will have collapsed. How do you explain a situation where, a facility like UCH, there will be no power supply to a facility for 2 weeks, and then you still have to run the theater, you still have to operate.
That's appalling.
Yes.
What happened?
Because
you were disconnected.
That's what I'm saying. So for a government facility, all you have to do is just tell the electricity company, look, let's prorate, let's work out a modality of how this thing should be paid. Yes. I need to actually now deduct that from the subvention.
Now, probably some of these people are not even thinking that they also could fall victim, and
or their own relatives,
are
poor, the downtrodden, the lowlies. But then the rich are not also exempted. They are not. And
all right. It's quite appalling. Anyway, some of these issues that we have been discussing this morning, I'm very sure that if you are there and you want to probably make one or two contributions, of course you can join that conversation. As the conversation is going on, you can join the conversation on 090-999-7937 or 0704 7937, 090999.
you are employing somebody that you claim you are training, maybe auxiliary. That's part of quackery.
Yeah.
And if you even go beyond your means, a doctor now, you are not meant, you are not, probably you have first degree, and you now start opening the brain, for example, what a neurosurgeon should do. That's quackery. And of course, when you have a facility, when you don't have adequate infrastructures, equipment to work with, that's also quackery. And you claim, for example, you deal with bones, you are a bone surgeon, but you don't even have some of these clamps and some of these plates that's also quackery. Well, as a body, we have an anti-quackery committee, and we with human lives. And I can categorically say that even the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria, that's the body that regulates medical practice in Nigeria, there are instances, for example, last year 4 doctors' names were struck off the master list, the register, because there is a register for all doctors in Nigeria that you renew your annual practice license at the beginning of at the end of every year for the subsequent year. So we don't, because people feel, because of the oath that binds us together, that maybe we overlooked. No, we don't. But of course, we also don't pander to mudslinging. We also don't pander to people running colleagues down. When you are able,
the privilege to read it, even before coming for the program. So I've had cause to read it, to read through. And I know that one of the issues succinctly elucidated in that oath is privacy. Privacy of patients. Am I correct?
yes, sir.
And now, why is it that sometimes a patient comes to you, particularly, probably he has a particular problem, and then, which of course ought to be between you and the medical, the person. And before you know what is going on, that same issue that he has come, for probably medical advice on or treatment on and all that, then becomes
We don't sensationalize. No,
it's unethical.
Unethical. Yes, we don't do that. But once there is an allegation, there must be a complaint.
Yeah.
And that look, my privacy has been breached. The oath of secrecy has been tampered upon. Tampered with my oath of secrecy binding on the doctor. He has tampered with it. Then you can actually, because then we investigate and then we punish the doctor. That's what I'm saying. It's not just even about not treating a patient well, or when there are complications of some procedure. No, even when I'm re-emphasizing it. Even when the patient has died, the onus lies on the doctor to keep the secret of the patient sacrosanct. Yeah.
That can be handled here. Probably that's what is been happening, and I think there is a need for the association
to educate our members,
to educate not just the members, to take more proactive measures towards making sure that they adhere to the oath they swore to defend before they ever give them the license to practice.
Well, sincerely speaking, this is just a simple matter. You see, the advent of the social media, the internet, makes news to go around faster. And you will agree with me that a doctor does not make a hospital. So the thing is, we have seen government officials in hospitals abroad. We've seen pictures out there. So it's not as if that alone will mitigate against such challenges. But I believe expended. Government, that's why I said it's not just about sitting in the office and saying, well, I allocated this. Implementation, monitoring is very, very key. And like you rightly stated, ideally by now, efforts should have been in top gear. Moves should have been made so that, for example, your state is completely protected. Though we get to hear And even you'll be shocked that even some of those states that are telling you that they are saying that they started, nothing might even be happening, because we have actually been in contact with some of our members, chairmen, and they tell you that they are not even aware that there is any vaccination going on. They just get to read on the pages of newspaper too some of these things that we are,
we're talking about.
I maybe as a parting shot, let me say it again, that healthy people will definitely bring about a very, turnaround. We help the country to be wealthy too, and it's not just about giving us adequate remuneration. It's not about establishing infrastructure. Health workers also, and even by extension, the generality of Nigerians should be protected. When we can go to bed and sleep soundly, it will boost sound health. When we know that okay, if I'm going to work, I get back safely, it will definitely make me want to go out tomorrow and do more. But when there is uncertainty everywhere, you are not even sure what happens even at the workplace. Doctors have been beaten up several times, even in the places of their duties, and we believe there should be rule of law to mitigate against such.
All right, before you go, if I don't ask you this question, I wouldn't have done justice to this program this morning.